Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everybody all right with that?
Yes, sir.
And so with that being said, I'm going to get out of the way because I don't have a preacher's spirit. I just have the energy to tell people what God said do it. Either get in or get out of the way. That's it. And so at this particular time, help me to bring up our brother with the National Council and the general manager of Mohammed's Farms, Dr. Abdul. That's right? Ridgely Abdul. That means that one that serves and asks for nothing in return. All right? And so this is the Muhammad we want to hear from today, Dr. Ridgely Abdul Muhammad. Help me to bring him over the wall.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam, sir.
In the name of Allah, who came to us in a person of a man.
Right.
And you know, we in the Nation of Islam, we have a problem with the rest of the world. The rest of the world, the Christians are waiting on Jesus' return.
Yes, sir.
And he's supposed to be the Son of Man. Well, the Son of Man is human.
Right.
Yes,
He's a
sir.
man. The Muslim world is waiting on the 13th Imam or the 12th Imam. Anyway, they're waiting on the Mahdi.
Right.
And they're waiting on the man. We in the Nation of Islam are not waiting on the man.
No, sir.
We said the man came in 1930.
That's right.
That's right.
We're not waiting no more.
That's
He
right.
came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad.
Right.
So we just looking for instructions from him to go ahead and build God's kingdom on earth. We're not waiting for nobody else to come. And for that, we are maligned by the Christians, the Jews. Oh yeah, the Jews too. They're waiting on the Messiah.
That's right.
They said Jesus wasn't the Messiah.
That's right.
So they're waiting on the Messiah. But again, they're waiting on the man. So we say, yeah, he came in 1930. And they saying, no, he didn't. Okay, well, fine. You don't believe he did, fine. But don't be talking mess about us just because we believe it. We just believe it. You don't believe it. No problem. We wait to see.
Right.
But stop messing with us.
That's right.
Running behind Farrakhan, everything he do, try to do, you come and try to shut it down. Just leave us alone.
Yes, sir.
Shut him off Facebook. Just leave him alone. What, you scared? He can't talk to your people? Why you scared?
Right.
You know who he is. That's why you scared.
That's right. That's right.
In the name of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the black man from Deep Step, Georgia, right outside of Sandersville, Georgia, who when he saw this man speak, saw Master Farad Muhammad speak in 1931,
Right.
he knew what he was looking at.
Right.
He was the only one who knew what he was looking at.
Right.
Right.
The others just saw him as a messenger.
Right.
The honorable Elijah Muhammad said, no, you God. You're the one that the world's been waiting on.
Right. That's
I
right.
stepped up to him after the presentation and told him that, and then Master Farad Muhammad was said, well, who knows that besides you, Elijah?
Right.
And then he took Elijah under his wing
Right.
and taught him for 3.5 years
Right.
to take his place amongst the people and become a God too. Even though the honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't know that he was being made into a God, he was just so in love with Master Farad Muhammad that he wanted to give his life to him to save the people. And then Master Farad Muhammad told the messenger, well, you know, these people are so terrible, so hard-headed, stiff-necked, and rebellious. I think I'm going to kill them all. He said, well, kill me too.
Right.
Right. That's right.
Come on. See, that's why I say the greatest love story ever told.
Right. That's right.
Because of the love for us and the love for them for us. And so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stepped up to him and said, you are God in person. And as we say in the streets, it takes one
Right.
to know one.
Right.
And the most honorable, I can't say most, he said don't say most. I just said the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to get in trouble because he might see it.
That's right. That's right.
You know, it's hard not to say that
Yes, sir.
because he is most spectacular, most magnificent, but I won't say most honorable. But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who you can't evaluate him as an orator.
That's right. That's right.
Okay? Now see, when the nation fell after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed in 1975. We're going to get into this and get into the lecture. It failed. When I say failed, I mean the farms or soul that I work on.
Yeah. You said?
I was to work on that farm when I got out of college. I finished A&T, but when I got out, they sold all the equipment, rented all the land out, and later they sold the whole thing. So that was nothing for me to do down there no more. They sold the farm, they sold all the businesses, Mont Mariam, the palace.
Right.
Everything was taken down. All the businesses completely destroyed, not by the white men, but by former members of the Nation of Islam who were taken underneath the wing of Wallace D. Muhammad, who we could not defend the teachings against his mind. Because he was sent over to the East to study Islam, and he came back, and he said, there's nothing in the books, in the libraries about Yaqub. So we were stunned. I'm going to show you some things, later on, we can straighten that out. But we were so stunned, we couldn't defend it. And then I tried to stick with him for a while until he said, well, we're not going to build a nation, a black nation.
Right.
But when we die, we can all go to heaven. You hear that? I said, what? I joined the Nation of Islam, and I did not go to, after I joined the Nation, I did not go to one party. Okay, I went to Columbia University first, I joined the Nation of Islam in New York, and came down here. Now, in case y'all don't know, A&T used to be the party school. I don't know what they're doing, all the baggage walking around. I don't know what's going on with it now. But it used to be nothing but the party school, right? Still is. But it's men partying with men. Anyhow, I did not go to one party. I did not go to one football game, not one basketball game. All I did was push the program of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's all I did. And that is, man, because I want to build a nation. That's why I joined the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam. Okay? Now he's gonna talk about I now gotta wait to have heaven after I die and let this cracker keep this. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So, I left that. So I didn't leave the nation, I left that. They destroyed the nation, and then I left that. And I didn't come back into the nation until 1993. And it took me so long because I was so upset. I found out in '84 that it was being set up again, but I said, I've been there, done that. And I was at Michigan State getting my PhD, and so I wouldn't listen to Farrakhan. I would read the paper, I would read the books, but I would not listen to his voice. I'm going to show y'all something in a minute why I would listen to his voice. But I would listen to his voice. Because, see, I knew something was funny about that voice. I knew something was funny about that voice. And I did not want to hear that voice because I didn't want to be captured. Emotionally captured by that voice. So it took me a long time for me to come back because I was upset because he didn't fight to keep the nation going, because when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad left, everybody on planet Earth, everybody on planet Earth knew Farrakhan was the man.
Right.
Nobody knew who Wallace was. So, we said, but now, took us a while, took me a while to understand that there would have been a bloodbath. I didn't know that. I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. There would have been a bloodbath if Mr. Farrakhan had challenged to take the position.
Right.
So he just stepped back. And there's something scriptural
Come on.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember Solomon?
Yes, sir.
And them two women coming fighting over the baby?
Right.
And both of them claiming that the baby was theirs?
Right.
And Solomon said, okay, what we do is, somebody go, bring me a sword.
Right.
We're going to split the baby in half, so you have half the baby, and you all have half the baby. And so the real mama said, no. She can have the baby. Said, okay, well, that's your baby then. So you take the baby, and you woman, you get the hell out of here. I mean, I don't know what to say. I just put it back on the street, you know what I mean? But he gave the baby to the real mother, because the real mother couldn't stand to see the baby dead. Even though she would lose the baby, she'd rather lose the baby to this other woman than the baby to be dead.
Right.
So that's the way Minister Farrakhan was about us.
Right.
he didn't want a fight because then we would bleed. And he didn't want that. So he just stepped back and he tried to help Wallace until Wallace just started talking bad about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I tell you this straight up. On my Facebook page, there are some rules. You can talk mess about me, Richard. Okay? It's okay. You can disagree with what I say. It's okay. But when you disrespect the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, blocks. Excommunication.
Right.
Cyberspace, block you out of here. I don't play that. So when they disrespected the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mr. Farrakhan could no longer take it anymore. So he left. And then he started the Nation of Islam all over again.
Right.
Just based on the teachings. Because he wasn't in the bloodline, and that's another thing we're going to talk about today. He wasn't in the bloodline, okay? But he was in the spiritual line.
Right, that's right.
And he didn't know he was in the spiritual line, except his spirit was the love of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he would not allow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to be written out of history.
Right.
So he stood back up because of his love for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and now we realize that he was the spiritual son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and now he's finding out that he was the spiritual son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and of Master Farad Muhammad. So in this new world, there's not going to be no power and positions passed down because of your bloodline.
Right, that's right.
Make it plain.
You have to prove it based upon your works
Right.
and your spirit.
Right.
You may have PhDs and MDs and whatever Ds and whatever, and maybe some A's in the middle, okay? But if you don't have the right spirit
That's right.
for the people and for Allah, for God, for the law, for what Master Farad Muhammad wants to put on the earth, then you can't run this.
Right.
You can maybe work underneath that brother, maybe you can grow up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But you can't run this because you got to have the right spirit. Not just about your bloodline, and your work ethic has got to be there. You got to be qualified, but your spirit got to be right.
That's
Right, that's right.
Make it plain.
Okay? And you can check spirit in case you don't know.
Yes, sir.
You know, Dr. Richard is a mean dude, but you know what? Babies love me. You see, as long as babies love me, I ain't worried about y'all. Because the baby can pick you up
That's right.
quick.
Right.
Baby start, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? So, with that, I think I'm trying to do the open. I'd like to greet you in the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Now, Brother Minister Willie, you know, he just be rolling on that spirit thing. I have this laptop with PowerPoint
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
to control me.
Right.
Because I have to be controlled because I just keep going. All right? But I wanted to start off something a little different than I had planned to, because I'm going to talk about a scripture, and we will talk about later on about this whole game with the Bible. But there's one verse, and then I'm going to go back and read the verses up to that verse. This is in Revelations 19 and 12. It says, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Now, when I read that years ago, I said, man, that's strange. A name written, had a name written that no man knew. See, all that masons and Shriners and all that, they hit Hiram Abiff upside the head because he wouldn't give the name of God.
Right, that's right.
And we think that was maybe Jehovah or Allah. No. He was talking about the name of the person to come to take their behinds out.
Right, that's right.
Name of that God. There you go. You got it right. No. The name that they were worried about wasn't Lucifer. No. The name they was worried about was Farrakhan.
That's right.
Farrakhan is a name that nobody knew.
Right.
And Mr. Farrakhan, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, promised Mr. Farrakhan that he would tell him the meaning of that, but he never told him the meaning of that.
Right,
And then
that's
Mr.
right.
Farrakhan said he had to learn the meaning of that. But in actuality, see, Mr. Farrakhan, he is so humble.
That's right. That's right.
He says stuff, but then, he don't say it very loud. No. He had to make the meaning of that name. In other words, if you want to study, it's a new attribute of Allah,
Right.
Farrakhan.
Right.
And you have to study him to understand that attribute.
Right. That's right.
It's one that's evolving and producing and growing,
That's right.
not something that anybody could have told him, because every attribute has a meaning.
Right. That's
But
right.
he had yet to express himself and fulfill himself as himself, because himself was it.
Right.
And now, Farrakhan now is a name that he said, that Elijah Muhammad said, that only your immediate family can carry that name.
Right. Right.
Because that was and that is a special name. Now, so I don't understand how the Jews slept Farrakhan when Elijah Muhammad left. Here's a man that when he speaks, everybody listens, and he had a name that nobody knew, not even himself. Well, there it is right there in the scripture. I don't see how they slept. Now, look, let's read some more about what they say about this man. This matter of fact, he's called later on here the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. But let's go up here and get started on it. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. Starting off at Revelations 11. He that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he does judge and make war. Now let's go back. It said Faithful and True. Those of you who have been keeping up with the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, has anybody been more faithful to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and true to what he taught than Mr. Farrakhan?
Come on.
Mr. Farrakhan is saying, praise be to God. He said he gave his son, Mustafa, the right to kill him if he deviated.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
There's some things you need to know.
That's right.
Now y'all see Mustafa, right?
Come on now. Come on.
I don't think not many people roll up on Mustafa, right?
No, sir. Right.
And the minister gave Mustafa, when he was to rebuild the nation, he gave Mustafa the right that if he deviated to kill him.
Yes, sir.
So, you talk about he was faithful and true. Now, he said, if I'm a liar, prove it.
Go ahead. Come
They've
on.
never been able to prove Mr. Farrakhan as a liar.
That's right. Never.
And now he's asking for a showdown for those who call him liar to come and prove he lied.
Go ahead.
Okay? They running scared. I don't blame them, but they running scared. So then, that's when it goes to his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his head were many crowns. You know, the last Savior Day, you saw some of those crowns, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God.
Go ahead.
Now, who else can carry that name other than Farrakhan? Because you know when you hear him, you hear the Word of God. And that's what Honorable Elijah Muhammad said about him.
Right. That's right.
And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. Now here's the part that I love. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. But what I want to go back up to, where they talk about his sharp sword that goeth out of his mouth. That's him. His tongue,
Go ahead.
Musa had a rod.
Right.
Right.
Farrakhan got that tongue.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's why I said I was going to listen to him. Okay, when the nation fell, and they say it's coming back, I was going to listen to him. Because I knew he would capture me with that tongue, that voice. But he did something. And I'm going to get into it a little bit later on. He did something on time,
Go ahead.
based on my talent. See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad knew that Master Farad Muhammad was God in person based on his talent.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He had studied the scripture and the history. And he knew what he was looking for. And when he showed up, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tallied and said, that's the man. That's him.
All right.
Then Master Farad Muhammad said, well, who knows that besides you, Elijah? So I'm going to give you a little bit of what tallied me up to come back to follow the Nation of Islam, in particular, Mr. Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
So when I made this tally, you know, he ain't CIA, he ain't Mossad, he ain't FBI. Ain't nobody put him up for this because nobody knew what I was doing because of my personal tally.
Right.
I didn't tell nobody what I was doing. Okay, it was something I was studying, and when he did what he did on time for me,
Come on.
I just saluted, fell back in the ranks, and said, "Yes, sir. What can I do to help, sir?"
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. You know, this thing is crazy. Okay, you know, Christians, they be talking about love of Jesus and love of the Lord and what they've done for them in their life and all this type of stuff, right? Most of them just a job with a white man they praise again. You know, they ain't really got no direct communication or help from God that they can just say, oh, God did that. But I've had that experience. So I've been led, not knowing that I was being led, to this point. And I was sent down there to the farm for a reason.
That's right.
And I just discovered recently what that reason was.
Go ahead.
The enemy has planned to eliminate 5 billion people on the planet.
Right.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. And I found out how he's doing it, how he plans to do it. And I'm like that little boy up there and put his finger in the plug of the dike that was going to flood
Right.
the whole country. Well, I got my finger in this dike here. I'm trying to say, look, man, y'all need to run.
Right.
Y'all heard about Monsanto being sued? You got all the news now, right?
Yes, sir.
I did a poem in 1999 called Terminator Genes, where I talked about there's a war going on that you might want to know. You better find out from Monsanto. This is 1999. So now Monsanto is going down. Now, there's a game plan behind that.
Right.
The first person that sued, they first said $258 million. Later on, they said he accepted $78 million, and he was a black man. Sued for cancer. I've been showing articles showing that these GMOs were called cancer for years. They've been denying that it would. Now they accepted it, and they gave this brother $78 million. They saw out $258 million, and they put a picture of him up. I said, look, that is the face of death. Meaning that they sink in Monsanto, and when Monsanto and Roundup sinks, and the farmers stop using it, and the agriculture goes down, they're going to blame that black man for starting the demise of Monsanto. Now, Bayer bought Monsanto knowing that Monsanto was going to be sued. Why? Bayer is from Germany. In Europe, Roundup was already outlawed. So why would you buy a company that you know countries are outlawing it unless you ain't that stupid?
Right. That's
But
right.
when Monsanto goes down and the farmers stop, then they're coming back with a whole new line of GMO and chemicals.
Mhm.
They got an experiment station down there in Georgia, in Dawson, Georgia, working on cotton to make sure that this new set of herbicides, insecticides, etc. work. Okay, that they work. And they will come forth as the Savior. And nobody's going to question what's in their GMO.
Right.
Because they're scared, because you better not, they will act like they believe that it's going to be safe, but they're really scared because they say, if we don't buy this stuff, we don't go along with it, then they will stick that, and and we will all starve to death. So they go accept what Bayer is pulling off. So they're setting up something. But see, Allah, who came the first to Master Farah Muhammad, I'm going to show you something he did last year. Now this year, something's going on in the Midwest.
Right.
It's flooding.
Right, that's right.
It's flooding so severe that only, in some states, only 40% of the corn crop was
Right.
planted this year.
That's right. That's right.
And in the Mississippi Delta, they say not only could they not plant this year, they won't plant next year. Now, so Allah is curtailing America on the side and in the heartland.
That's right.
And so now there is going to be food shortages. There is going to be price spikes. That's why we got the Stable Goods Project. We do another one in a couple of months. You better get stocked up. This bad boy, this Titanic is going down. But now, when it goes down, it's going to be blamed on the weather. And not Monsanto going down. So that means that thwarted Bayer's plan of saying that the famine was caused by that black man who took Monsanto down. Now, everybody's looking at the weather. Now, who controls the weather? Mr. Farrakhan said, watch the weather. And he said last week, he said, when I finish talking, it's going to get worse. Right?
Yes.
So now, when the famine comes, people go say, Farrakhan warned us about that. See, that's what you got to do with Negroes. You know what I mean? I never understood Negroes until I got a dog. Okay? They so in love with the white man. Ain't nothing the white man can do. Nothing. Nothing that he can do. I tried to get rid of that dog. See, that dog, I picked him up with a little baby. You know? But he was upset because he couldn't come in the house. You know, Muslims, we can have dogs,
Right.
but they can't come in the house. And so he didn't appreciate that. You know how Negroes would come in the house of master? Integration would be a master's house. We had segregation. We had our own house, own businesses. But now we want to be a master's house and get master's house, master's house. Okay? Just like a tail wagging dog.
Right, that's right.
So he was so upset that he would go and tear my wife's outside furniture up. She had a lot of outside furniture and he would just tear it up. So, you know, I got tired of that. Because look, hey, you know what I mean? It's like, hey. She upset with me because of you. She cooks and does a lot of other things that you can't do for me, son. Because I ain't one of them KB freaks, okay? Anyway, so I wouldn't feed him. I beat him. I threw rocks at him.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't feed him. I wouldn't even say his name. I ignored him completely. Did it for a year. And one day, because he wouldn't leave, he came up to me, and I looked at him, I said, and I patted him on the head. I said, okay, Cheetah. That's the name of Cheetah. Okay, Cheetah. That night he went and jumped over the fence into my wife's yard and tore up her pillows. A whole year, he had not bothered her pillows. When I treated him like a dirty dog, okay, hated his gut, and he knew it. He wouldn't go over there. But time I showed him a little bit, why does he love the devil? Now, when I first heard that in the teachings, I said, now that's got to be God, because that don't make no sense. But yes, it's true. It don't make no sense, but it's true. Black folk love white folk. No matter what white folks do, Negroes still love them. And it don't make no sense.
No, it don't.
But I never understood that really until I got this dog. And when I treated him like a dirty dog, he loved me. He wanted to be with me. And time I treated him nice, he went in and did the same very thing that he was in trouble about. I said, that's just a Negro. You can't treat him nice. Here we are. We out here in the paper, selling papers. I was in Raleigh, North Carolina one time selling paper. The brother came around selling paper and said, y'all killed Malcolm. He drove off, came back the second time. Y'all killed Malcolm. Drove off, came back the third time. When he came back the third time, y'all killed Malcolm. I got real close to him, and he was on the pasture himself. I got real close to him. I said, brother, if you believed that we killed Malcolm, you wouldn't say that to my face, because then you would worry about me killing you.
Right. Damn.
I ain't seen him again. If I seen him, I didn't know him, but he sure didn't say nothing no more. See, these people, you try to treat them nice,
Right.
and they treat you like a dog.
Right. That's right.
Okay? That's right. Take advantage of your love. But guess what? That's our job.
Right.
See, y'all black Muslims, y'all know your job. You all's job, you talking about Jesus, they have a picture of him, in a little heart bleeding for you,
Right.
This is what we do, minister does, and we do in the Nation of Islam. We bleed for our people.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
That's true.
We actually suck up the venom in you.
Yes, sir.
When we out in the court, I used to do it at A&T. They used to come by me with a frown on their face and that music that's in the ear, that negative crap in the ear. Frown. I said, man, listen to music and you're frowning. Damn. And so I started doing some of my little song. Yummy, 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 I got anybody in my tummy. That's why I'm happy. And they had to remove the earplug. What? and I watch them. They'll act like they didn't hear it, but they heard it and they started smiling. I said, I just sapped some juice out that big bro. So I sapped the negative juice out of him or her and put the positive in, and guess what? I may have saved a life. What do you mean I may have saved a life? Because when you got negative vibration in you,
Right.
you pass that off to others,
Right.
and you might pass it off to just the wrong one at the wrong time,
That's right.
and here come a crime. Okay? You just got shot. Okay? Because what? You dissed me. Right? But if you take away that poison, now that person can take a little bit more negative from each other. Because we're not going to give a negative to the white man. As a matter of fact, we go to the white man's job, the white man gives us negative on the job. We go home and give negative to the family.
Right. Yes, sir.
Or give negative to the friends. We don't give negative to the white man on the job.
Right.
Okay? So he puts that on you.
Yes, sir.
I tell you another thing he do. He said, Whitney, you different.
Right. That's what they do.
Now he got to touch him when he's doing it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's like got to try this. Yeah, boy.
You know, Willie, you different. Huh? Y'all seen that before?
Yeah.
Putting that negative spirit in you,
Right.
that you are what? What's the word? Better.
Right.
Now, what is the signature of Iblis? What is the signature of Satan? He thinks he's better.
God.
Yes, sir.
He's not.
Now, there was 59,999 Iblises that went with Yaqub
Right.
6,600 years ago.
Right.
Why you say that? It's right in the message of the black man.
That's right.
They went with him because he taught Islam with promises. And the promise was that if you follow me, I will get your brother to work for you.
Right.
You
That's
want
right.
your soul.
So if I want him to work for me, but I won't reciprocate by working for him, then what am I saying about myself? I am better.
Right.
So therefore, what Yaqub did was actually taught in a manner to pull the devils that were hiding amongst the people in black skin.
Okay.
They were manifestations of a problem that we have from the very beginning called a brown germ. You got in the black man, two germs, the black germ, the brown germ.
Right.
The black germ is for the whole, the brown germ is for the individual, selfish person's needs and wants. And you become a problem for the brown germ because you're in competition for that job, for that post, for that money, for that house. And so the brown germ begins to find deviant ways to knock you out the box.
That's right.
Now, ain't nothing like putting that brown germ on top. You get a brown germ a post,
Right.
and it'll blow up like an idol.
Oh, yes.
All right, now, I'm the head nigga in charge. Everybody get back, because I'm going to be the God. So, it's intoxicating.
Right, that's right.
Our nations will rise and fall. And so Yaqub didn't make devils, he made a race of devils out of devils.
Go ahead.
And turned them white so everybody could see them. You know them, they're human, but they're different. And put them over us. So that maybe one day we get tired of it. And then find out where the problem came from and get tired of the problem in us. Now, the Nation of Islam, I put up my Facebook page and asked the question, why is the Nation of Islam different from other nations from the past? Not many people got it. One of the things that makes us different is that we carry no weapons.
Right, that's right.
I can't even raise my fist to my brother. And I can't even raise my fist on my hand to my wife.
Right.
Right.
In the Holy Quran, it said you can beat your wife lightly. The sisters are laughing over here because they know you roll up on me with that mess. I'll beat you down and then tell the captain on me.
That's right. That's
Huh? I'll beat you down and then tell the captain on me. Then the brothers come and beat you down again.
right.
All right? We don't do that. Now, we can't shoot you. We can't cut you. We can't beat you up. We can't stomp you. So what do I do when somebody disses me? What do I do when somebody does me wrong? What do I do when somebody who's in power treats me unjustly? I can't roll up with some of my brothers and we sit and have some type of meeting somewhere and we decide to have a coup.
Right.
The way they do in Africa and the way they did right after Prophet Muhammad's death. And they've been doing it ever since over there in the East, assassinating leadership.
That's right.
Right.
That's how they remove people who they don't like. They kill them.
Yeah.
We can't do that. So if I can't do that, how do I deal with my brother and my sister? I'm going to have to go to a whole different level of love, but also science.
Yes.
Because if the person did that to me, that person go wind up doing it to somebody else.
Right.
Right.
I got to figure out how to stop that person from deviating and doing that. So I had a chance to experiment on the farm with a certain human being. Okay? I'm not going to go through the whole history of this human being. But Allah has a way of testing your think what you know.
Right.
Right.
Oh, you think you know something about Yaqub, huh? You think you know something about the brown germ, huh? Okay, guess what? That brother right there, his name is Yaqub. Brother told me that's my name, but my name is Yaqub. Mr. Farrakhan gave me that name. No, Elijah Muhammad gave me that name the same day he gave Farrakhan, he gave me Yaqub.
Now cool.
I said, what? I didn't say what. I just looked at him. and it was true. He was Yaqub. He would just lie just to lie. He would lie so much trying to get people to fight me, the other workers. And so, two of my workers, my son was one of them, was going to kill him. And I said, no, we can't do that. We can't kill him. So, what I learned to do, see, the brown germ likes to mess with you.
Right.
Likes to do sneaky stuff to you.
Right.
And then likes to get your attention and then get a fight going. But when he bites you, now get another story. I ain't got my third what y'all get. Minister from Charlotte in the first. Minister Yusuf. No. Shaw. Mr. Shaw, the first. He said that there's a difference between a rattlesnake and a king snake.
All right.
He said a rattlesnake, his power is in his bite, is in the poison. He said what a king snake would do, in fighting a rattlesnake, a king snake fight other snakes and eat snakes.
Yeah.
Right.
So what the king snake would do would allow the rattlesnake to bite it. And then the king snake would go off into the woods and get a particular herb to counteract the poison.
Go ahead.
Now that the rattlesnake has shot his, I won't say wad, my wife's gonna say something like that. Anyway, after he had done his thing, punk, so he ain't got no more juice. So now the snake, the king snake, goes back and wraps himself around the rattlesnake and pulls him apart. Pulls him apart, bone by bone, and then swallows him.
Oh.
So when people mess with me, so the way you mess with them is that when they bite you, you make sure that you protect yourself from a similar bite again.
Come on now.
You don't, it's like when you're playing football, you give the left leg, okay, you got the left leg, but I ain't going down. Right? I'm going to be here to fight again. But I'm not going to allow you to do that. I'm going to do something to protect myself against you making that move on me again.
Right,
Now,
right.
first of all, the brown germ, he see that you didn't fall. And then he wondered, did he know I bit him? See, I won't even let him know you bit me. So now, but you know I done something, because I done changed up, so you can't come at me that direction. But I still act like you bit me, and I don't want to accuse you of biting me. Because if I accuse you, you're going to lie.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
You going to lie. And we taught the nation that you can't accuse somebody of something. If you accuse somebody of something and can't prove it, guess what the punishment goes over?
Go ahead.
It comes back on you. So you cannot accuse somebody of something that you can't prove. And when you try to accuse intent, you can show action. But to accuse somebody of the intent, that's hard to do.
Right.
Right? So the best way to do it is say, okay, nigga, you got me the first time.
Get me the second time.
You're not going to get me again with that, and I'm going to watch you from now on.
All right now.
But I'm not going to tell people, because they'll get back to you.
Right.
See, if I tell people, well, he dead now, so if I tell people, then they'll get back to you. So I don't want you to ever know that I know
All right.
that you bit me,
All right now.
and I got rid of the poison.
Go ahead.
And now you can't come that way, and I'm going to watch you from now on and check you from now on. I had that brother so much in my pocket that when he was dying, he asked me to protect him against his own daughters. That he had made as a straight up devils. And they was fighting over his property. And he asked me to intercede. I tried. I called the brother up to brother. I'm sorry. I cannot help you. I can't handle them. Woo! A woman has a way of getting into your soul with a word. You know, she comes with some stuff out of nowhere. You know. And it hurts you so bad. They know how to go right down to the core, to the bottom of your feet with the hurt. And they was doing that to me. I'm trying to get them to stop fighting one another over the property. They didn't know. They didn't say I'm trying to steal this property. What? all he got is a single wide trailer. What the hell I want a single wide trailer for? Hell, I already got a double wide. Well, that's the farm trailer. That don't even belong to me anyway. So I ain't got nothing, but I don't need no damn single wide. Plus it was old as hell and falling apart. You kidding me? But they were trying to say that I was trying to take this man's property. And I'm trying to get them to work together on getting the property. And the property is sitting there deteriorating right now because they never got together on how they was going to take care of the property, and now it's just falling apart. But he came to me for help because I was the only brother he could depend on.
Go ahead.
Yet he tried to get me busted for the first time I got down there. Trying to get me busted off my post. But after I found out his name the first time I met him. I knew then this was a test from Allah on this Negro here who think he know about brown germs, think he know about Yakub, think he know about Imhotep, think you know about the Set on Osiris. Okay, you know about Set, here's Set. Now, you take care of him. You can't kill him either. So, people ask the question. I ask the question. How can Allah God build a nation that will never deviate?
Go ahead.
See, now, I'm going to ask a question because I have heard different opinions of this question. How long is Master Farad Muhammad supposed to live? How many years? I've heard 400.
445.
445.
600. 800.
No, you guessing. See. What's your name?
Quintel.
Quintel. Let me ask you a question. Why do you like to interfere in my conversation? Do you know? All right, thank you. Anyhow, 400, 440, 445, it's somewhere around 400 years, right?
Right.
Now, we want everything to happen in our lifetime.
Right.
Amen.
And we ain't eating right,
Right.
Right.
Thank you.
and we're around a bunch of negative stuff,
Yes, sir.
Right.
so we know we don't plan to live but so long.
True that.
So we want everything to happen right now. But now Mr. Farrakhan is slowly telling us that they're going to be happening fast.
Right.
It may take 30, 40, 50 years.
Right.
And then we look around and say, man, I ain't going to be here that long. That's your damn fault. You got to be here. But what is Master Farad Muhammad up to? He had the plane in 1929.
Amen.
So if he had the plane in 1929, they could wipe out America in 12 hours.
Go ahead.
1,500 baby planes, 3 bombs on it. Everybody said, wait, he got the plane. How come he don't use it? Shut up, fool. You hugged up on Massa. How Massa gonna get, how is Allah gonna get to him without getting to you? You hugged up on Massa.
Right. That's right.
Amen.
But he didn't come here because they was going to kill everybody over here before he came in. And his father who said, no, I'm going to go and get them. His father then made somebody to come and get us.
Right.
That's the first part of the love story.
That's right.
The scientists over there, the 12 scientists said, kill them all.
Come on.
Right.
But no,
Amen.
one of them said, no, let me go get them, the lost sheep, let me go get them. And they said, okay, all right, you go by yourself. Now,
That's right.
he made a son that looked white.
Go
Right.
ahead.
That's right.
He got a white woman up the Caucasus Mountains, brought her down, cleaned her up, made a son. He made a one before him, but it was darker. He had to try it again. Make it lighter. Now, in the movie Malcolm X, who came up in the Malcolm jail cell? Anybody remember the movie Malcolm X? In the movie. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad came up in the jail cell.
Like
the movie.
Muhammad came in the movie. In the
Now.
jail cell.
Who came up in the autobiography of Malcolm X? In the autobiography of Malcolm X, Malcolm said it was Master Farad Muhammad.
That's right.
Why did they have to change that in the movie? Because supposedly Malcolm left the nation because of the discretions of the messenger with wives, and he lied to us about white people being Muslims. Well, if he lied, even though you saw the white Muslims in 1959, Malcolm, when you went there on behalf of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad,
That's right.
but still, when you saw that picture as you got out of jail, because that's the only picture we got of Master Farad Muhammad, right there on the left.
Right.
We don't have another picture of him. If you saw, okay, this is not looking good. Can y'all see the light? Nope, that ain't showing good. Anyway, when you saw that man, you would think he's white, right?
Right.
So
Right.
how could Malcolm say that he didn't know about white Muslims when he saw the God who came in person and who came in his jail cell? He looks white.
Exactly.
Don't play me. But he was playing everybody else because y'all didn't know that. Y'all didn't know that picture?
Right.
Okay? And then the movie came out, knowing that people didn't know none of that, put that in there. Even though the people that read the autobiography of Malcolm X, they go sit there and go for that. It was not the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that called to Malcolm, it was Master Farad Muhammad. But if they had put that in that movie, then the people coming to that movie would start questioning Malcolm.
Right.
So wait a minute, that's a white man. You got some of us right now, some of the Afrocentric conscious community said we follow a white man. Said Master Farad Muhammad's a white one. Well, Malcolm knew about that, the one that y'all follow. He said that's who he saw in his jail cell. So next time the Afrocentric, conscious, whatever people talking about that crap, y'all follow a white man, ask Malcolm. Yeah, ask Malcolm. What did he do? Who did he say he was for? Who he said came up in his jail cell? He said Master Farad Muhammad. That's the only picture that we got in him. So it was a white man for all intents and purposes. I mean, he was a half-breed. He was a little darker lighter than your boy Obama.
Right.
You know, Obama a half-breed.
Half-breed. Back in
So
jail.
Master Farad Muhammad was a half-original, but he was very light. But you tell the Afrocentric Negroes, Malcolm followed him for a while until, and I just posted on my Facebook page, I'm getting slowly to give you some more information. John Henry Clark even admitted something that I had read. I had read that Malcolm met in 1957 at the Waldorf Astoria, met with Prince Saud of Saudi Arabia. Now what were they talking about? Well, now John Henry Clark puts in his memoirs that when he met Malcolm in 1958, Malcolm told him that the Arabs had promised him $3.5 million if he would go against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Go ahead.
Now I'm bringing this forth at this time because just last week, everybody heard the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan say that some Arabs came to him and offered him millions of dollars not to teach Elijah Muhammad and not to even teach W.D. Muhammad.
That's right.
So if they did it once, if they did it twice, who the hell are they?
Come on.
See, we talk about Musa teaching the forgotten technology to the ones that was in the caves. But we have to remember, there were some who we couldn't find,
Right. That's right.
who stayed amongst us
Right.
in Arabia.
Exactly.
What were they doing for 2,000 years?
Amen.
For 6,000 years now? What were they doing? Because the books were not taken from them. They was kept in hiding. They didn't go and fall into the caves with the animals and the dogs
Right. That's right.
on all fours. They stayed amongst us, interbreeding with us. The jinn were interbreeding with men.
Amen.
And so here they come. When they saw Elijah Muhammad, they go to try to get Malcolm to go against Elijah Muhammad. That didn't work. When Malcolm went against Elijah Muhammad and fell out of the nation and got killed, Mr. Farrakhan was sent to New York. I came in the nation in New York underneath the voice of Mr. Farrakhan in 1971. We had the bean pies going. We had the Shabbat steak and takes going. We had restaurants going. We got all types of businesses in New York and more people in New York. He had 22 schools going, MUIs, and all the boroughs. Malcolm didn't have nothing like that. When Malcolm left the nation, he only took a few people with him. He wasn't all that at that time. He's been made all that recently
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes.
by the Jews.
Yes. Come on now.
By the Jews and the Arabs who were collectively working against him, and he didn't know it. Malcolm got took. He got played. The Jew that played him was Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace is the one he went to with the garbage. He's the one who went to with the mess of his personal life. Mike Wallace was the one who did the series called Hate That Hate Produced in 1959. Mike Wallace was the one that after Malcolm was killed, took care of Betty and the children. There's a book called, well, by one of the daughters of Malcolm called Growing Up X. And in that book, she says that Mike Wallace was always there for us. Matter of fact, they call him Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike. So here Malcolm was being whispered and played with, by the Jew on this ear and by the Arabs on this ear. See, Mr. Farrakhan said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, they can't mess with you.
Go ahead.
See? The Jews came to him and said, if you would change your rhetoric about us, nobody goes down in history in a good light if they're talking against us. If you would change it, we'll watch you for a while, and if we like what you changed to, then we will clean up your name. And so the minister, whatever, you know what I mean. So again, he turned down the Arabs. Is he going to make me the Messiah after I'm dead? He said, I want to kill that man. And that's what he said last week.
Right, that's right.
So this is why I brought out this thing about Malcolm, because I wanted to give you context. Because I'm not down in Malcolm as much as I'm down in the ones who used him and then brought him back up in that movie Malcolm X and put lies in his mouth.
Right.
Our young people, they don't read. They can read the article about Malcolm X, but they gonna go to that movie, and they play that movie 2 or 3 times a year.
Right.
They play that movie all as much as they play the other great lying movie they put out. You know what that is, don't you? The Ten Commandments. They put that movie out every year around by Easter, right?
Right.
That lying movie with Charlton Heston as Moses, white, and Yul Brynner as Pharaoh, white, and his wife was, what was her name? Anyway, she was white. Only black people in there were slaves. And by the way, slaves are not being pyramids.
Right. Say that.
Okay? I want to get to my lecture. I apologize.
Amen.
This is why I keep this thing. They control me because I just be going off. But if I lie, hang me and take me outside. But I'm just trying to help. In the Bible, there's no mention of the pyramids. Now they mention the Tower of Babel.
Right.
But I mean, if you was enslaved for 400 years, and you claim that you was building some things, you didn't see that? Because that was there before you got there.
Right.
Under the so-called Jews.
Amen.
That was there. But that's not in your Bible anywhere. The Sphinx is not in your Bible. What's up with that? Okay? It sounds to me a little bit of what? Player hate. By somebody who really hated us and did not want to give us any credit, and they tried to take those buildings down. Even the Arabs tried to take the buildings down, but you see the little stuff that's left up top? Right here?
Yes, sir.
That's the outer casing, the smooth. They took all that off of the Great Pyramid and most of it off of there. That's as far as they could get. They couldn't get down to them 2.5 million stones weighing 2.5 tons. They couldn't get down to move none of them. So they wanted to take it down. But what they managed to do was take the outside that had the writing on it. Because they're trying to hide, they're worried about us getting the truth about our history.
Right. That's right.
Amen.
Come on. So they destroy, deface what they see and write it down, and this is how your Bible was formed.
That's right.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Wow.
The cornerstone. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that man on the right,
Right.
he's the cornerstone for the new world.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to read the definition. Cornerstone, an important quality or feature on which a particular thing depends or is based. The cornerstone, or foundation stone, or setting stone, is the first stone set in the construction of a masonry foundation. Important as all other stones will be set in reference to this stone. thus determining the position of the entire structure. So, when we say that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the eternal leader of the Nation of Islam, and they say, well, he's not going to live forever. You know? Well, Master Farad Muhammad ain't going to live forever either.
Right.
Then people say, well, why did Master Farad Muhammad, why did he take that position as being the eternal leader? This goes back to the love story. Even though Master Farad Muhammad is God in person, but he was trained for this position. His father had money and got him the best books from all over the world, allowed him to travel all over the world. So he was prepared for his mission. He came to America and met a man who said he was so low in the mud he was looking up from the mud. Just out of his eyeballs was sticking out.
Right, that's right.
Yet, when this man, he didn't have to cajole him. He didn't have to prove to him who he was. Master Farad Muhammad had given 25,000 holy names out.
Go ahead.
Other people had heard him, but nobody. As a matter of fact, Honorable Elijah Muhammad had to go on the run for 7 years against the hypocrites who said he was a hypocrite because he said that Master Farad Muhammad was God in person.
Go ahead.
He said, no, Master Farad Muhammad was just the messenger. He said, no, Master Farad Muhammad was God, Allah in the person. And for that, he had to run for 7 years. His own brother, Khalat, tried to kill him because he was the only one who saw that. So, see, what does Master Farad Muhammad want? He wants to set forth in motion a process that will correct the wobble in the universe.
Go ahead.
Now you trying to do that. How about you trying to do something like that? The one you can't even take the wobble, you wouldn't know if you saw it, but you know, there's a wobble, man, what the hell am I going to do with that? So here's a man who had seen the wobble and said, I'm going to fix it. He's been given permission by the first one to go into his work and to perfect it. Now, he ain't, you know, y'all believe in spook laws. He can't do it all by himself.
Go ahead, make it plain.
He needs a team.
Right, go ahead.
He has to grow a nation to follow his instructions after he leaves. Yaqub only lived 150 years,
Right, that's right.
but it took something that you say, but it took 600 years to perfect his work and make him a white man. He only lived 150. And that white man is still in control, even though he's been gone. So, when we say the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the eternal leader of the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Farad Muhammad loved the Honorable Elijah Muhammad so much that to fix, and look, listen very carefully, y'all. He's going to fix the wobble in the universe. Mr. Farrakhan just recently said that injustice messes the person up. I'm paraphrasing. Injustice causes a person not to grow properly.
Right.
So think about us. We've been over here, we're over here for 400 years. And the white man would not even allow us to read the Bible. And that movie on Nat Turner was a lie. That little white girl did not teach him how to read the Bible. He learned how to read the Bible on his own.
Yes.
And nobody paid him to go around and teach no slaves. He had to sneak around and teach the slaves.
That's right.
Because he saw the resurrection
Amen.
of the people. So they killed him. They hated him so much, they killed him and took his oil, his body fluids, and made it into oil and elixir that they sold each other. That's how much they hated Nat Turner. But we were not allowed to read the Bible. So here is a man who is under all that pressure, and yet he knew God when he saw God the first time he saw him and heard him. He knew then that was the uncle that he was looking for. See, in our lessons, we taught about the uncle. That's us, right? The uncle is what relationship?
Amen.
Huh? The uncle was the brother of his father.
Right.
So Master Farad Muhammad was looking for the brother of his father. He was looking to the equal of his father to put him on the throne. Not for he to assume the throne.
Go ahead.
He was to build it and to put his brother's brother on it because of what we had suffered. Because we had, and some of us still do, didn't believe in God no more. They burnt that out of us because where is he now? We cried. The most terrible thing, one of the most terrible things that happened to me was when I went to New York and studied at the Schottenberg Institute and in 1969. And I read a book. And the book was talking about slavery. And it was saying that they would take a pregnant woman, stretch her out.
Come on.
In front of the other pregnant women.
That's right.
Then come with a machete and cut her belly open. So the fetus would drop on the ground, and then they would come in and stone it.
Right.
In front of the other pregnant women. To instill the fear of the white man in them. And when I read that night, when I came out, I looked up at the sky and I said, I'm dead. And what I meant by that was like, it's on. And I used to lay up in my bed at Columbia University at night and try to figure out how many white folks could I kill before they got me. And I just couldn't figure out how to kill enough to satisfy my hatred. Now I'm trying to get over my hatred and try to get into this love thing like Farrakhan. Farrakhan, he's into this not because of hate.
That's right.
He's into this because of love.
That's right.
It was through his love of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that he resurrected the Nation of Islam.
That's right. That's
And
right.
it's through his love and faith that when he comes out, you feel that love.
That's right.
You know, the sun shines on everybody. You feel that love. So Dr. Riddick will try to change a little bit from his hate mode and try to get into this love thing where I see Farrakhan. Because I get a chance to meet with him a lot. That's part of history.
Amen.
And I sit there, I used to be looking at him. Number one, I can't sit next to him. I did that.
Right.
But when he got revelation, it got too hot. So I told the minister, I asked the minister, can I move, please? So I don't sit next to the minister. Because the revelation he gets is hot. It's real. It's not no, it's real. You can feel it when you get a revelation. So I've been sitting there saying now, you know, this man is all he cracks out to be. He ain't playing. He ain't joking. He ain't faking humility. He ain't faking love. He loves us.
Right.
And he's humble. He said, you know, my research team, you know, I love y'all and I'm just honored to be with you.
Amen.
What? Honored to be with us?
That's right.
You know, we trying to figure out what we're doing here. I know I've been figuring out what am I doing here? I thought I was a farmer. Brought me up there. So, but he is, you see, the way a farmer, if he is in the process of breeding, I'm not talking about GMO where you blast some artificial stuff into the DNA.
Amen.
Okay, when you do an actual breeding, you try to find seeds that have the best qualities and you make them. And you keep on until you get something that's set. And then that's the one you continue to produce that particular breed. So this is what he's doing with us. He starts off with the best material. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Pure love.
Amen.
Then Mr. Farrakhan. Pure love.
That's right.
Amen.
Right? Now, he's trying to put the Christ in us.
Go ahead, make it plain.
He is the first born in Christ. You know, mothers think, well, I've been resurrected, but have you been born in Christ yet? What does that mean?
Come on.
That means that you have given yourself over to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad the way the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given himself over to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and allows the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to take over his mind,
Go ahead.
take over his heart, take over his soul. that he don't want to live other than to bring in the life of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's what he wants us to become.
Amen.
That's going to take some time.
That's right.
You know, and we ain't patient. You know, we want stuff so fast, not only we go to a fast food restaurant, but we won't even get out the car. Now that's sorry. Do you know how many people got smacked and spit on because they didn't want to go to that back door in the slot and get the food? They wanted to sit up there with white folks. I want to see the white folks. I want to see the white folks. I still want to see the white folks. So now we got a chance to see the white folks. What we do? Go around the outside. To the back, go around outside in the back. They slide to a slot. You give them money. That's what they want us what for. Oh, he is absolutely crazy. So now, how do you take that type of nut and then you gonna produce a people that will never deviate? Well, most of us in the Nation of Islam cannot really prove that we saw the mother plane
Go ahead.
of the wheels. Some of us believe we have, but we really can't really prove it.
Right.
Now, if the mother plane and the wheels showed up right now, how many people you think be stupid enough not to bow? Only the Jews, everybody else will bow. When you see that planes doing that thing, you go bow. Oh, Lord, oh, no, please. Okay? Now, but that's not what he wants. He wants those to bow to him, not because you even see him.
Go ahead.
You don't even see his power, but you believe.
Right.
You have faith.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Now, if you would go through what we're going through in the nation, if we would go through this with ourselves in the nation and with our people outside the nation, if we would go through this, yet we don't have real confirmation in terms of a visual one-on-one that he exists and is alive and has a will and all that. Now, don't you think those are the type of people that 400 years after he leaves, he can depend on? That your offspring, who you would have raised up to believe such as that, now they're going to be able to hold on to the faith because they got the faith in the dark and not in the light. Everything comes forth first in the dark.
Right.
That's where the egg and the sperm meet in the dark, and then it only comes out into the light when it's able to defend itself.
Go ahead.
Amen.
So, yes, what we're going through in the nation, you say, well, man, when does it go? When is it going to end? When is it going to stop? I can't take this no more. Well, this is another little. Okay, in the early Quran it says, Allah will not place on the burden on anybody that they cannot bear.
That's right.
Right?
Amen.
I'm paraphrasing, right?
Amen.
Okay, then here you go. You got this problem. You got this weight on you, right? These Negroes is getting on your last nerve, right? You said, I just can't take this no more. Oh, you a hypocrite then. Because what? Because Allah said he would not place on a burden that you couldn't handle. So by you saying you can't handle the burden, then you're a hypocrite. You lying. So I said, okay, wait a minute. That's right. I can't do that. So I'm going to have to bear it. And then Allah say, well, good. Put some on Oh, man. Come on now. That ain't right. But it's true. You know what I mean? That's what he do. He carried you through something. And you say, no, I quit December 25th, 2018. I wrote that was a letter of resignation. Because the water, first of all, Michael came through. Now when Michael came through in October, me and Sister Ann, we went to run it. We didn't stay there. We went to make it, but we let everybody think that we were still there. Oh yeah, we made preparations. You know, Facebook, you know, we made preparations. Yeah, we get in the damn car, bro. Michael was carrying about what, 5? I think that's about it. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's like 5. That's the top. I said, we ain't staying out here. So we left. And then it, knocked down a bunch of trees, but it did not affect the house hall. They had all fuel, shingles and everything, and they came. We got a completely new roof behind that. All praise due to Allah. But nothing fell on the house. Nothing fell on the equipment. some big trees, trees whose roots would reach from the ceiling down to the floor, flipped over. Okay, but didn't hurt anything. So they get 400. But then for the next 3 months, 25 inches fell in 36 days of rain. And so what happened, the water started coming up from underneath the ground.
Amen.
Not water running off the fields and the rain across, no, the water was coming from underneath the ground.
Amen.
So you couldn't fix it. I tried to tell you, you can't fix it. They came with a bulldozer and try to push the good dirt on top of it. I said, it ain't gonna work. And before the bulldozer could leave, the water's coming up from underneath the ground.
Amen.
So at that time, we were doing step, we were 16. I had over $100,000 of the people's money. We had all the product on the farm, but we couldn't get it off because all the roads were blown out. So I lost it. Because I know with black folk, you don't mess with black folks' money. They don't care. They don't care
Don't care.
what you going through.
Amen.
But you got my money.
Right.
And we couldn't give it back to you. Why? We spent it on the product. So if it had happened before we got the product, then we would have been okay. We just give your money back. But we had the product on the farm.
Right. Amen.
And we got the people's money. We got the product, but we can't get the product off the farm. So I said, boom, that's it for me. I'm out of here. All right? But then, the minister didn't respond. And he didn't respond. But this, look, I didn't tell my wife until after I had wrote the letter. Then I let her see it that I quit. She didn't tell me that after that she wouldn't wrote a letter. After she sent it to the minister, she let me read it. She didn't let me see it before she wrote it. She sent it and then she let me see it. And I told her, I said, they need to publish this in the final part. Because it was the best defense that any wife could have done for her husband.
Amen.
All right. So I had died. I even wrote the minister and told the minister I didn't want to see the farm again. I would train whoever he wanted to come, but I would train them from a distance, tell them what to do, where to go get stuff. I wouldn't leave them out there, but I didn't want to see it no more. Now, for those of y'all who know my relation to the farm, that meant that I was dead, brother. Woo.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
That meant that I was dead.
Yes, sir.
Okay? But my wife reached in and pulled me out the grave. All right? I'm ready now to try to help Malcolm and his family.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Yeah, now where you going with that?
Right.
Because Malcolm had a problem with Betty. You read about it. Malcolm still loved Evelyn. And Betty knew it. Now, brothers, I don't know if you know, but women know. You don't let her know that you still in love with the ex. You don't let her know that you're in love with no other woman. Now, you may have gotten caught messing around because of your hormones, but she can tell whether you love her or not. Love her. But if you love her, you got hell on your hands. She gonna throw coals on your soul. So Malcolm had let it out that he still had this thing for Evelyn. She knew it. So when that house got burned up in New York and they had to go back and live with somebody else, man, she put Malcolm through it. So when Malcolm was going through his thing, he was promised his money, but he never got the money. Now, Henry Clark said he did not accept the money, but I'm going to do some more research and find out what happened. He never got the money. I don't know if he changed his mind and accepted it. Because also in 1957, he had a heart attack. Young man ended up with a heart attack. That's on record.
Amen.
Now, you young man had a heart attack, you looking to be the leader after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad leaves.
Okay.
But now you're not even sure whether you're going to outlive him or not. Because your heart is weak. Now, I don't believe he had a heart attack. I believe that John Ali slipped a Mickey on him, and then he went to the hospital, and they diagnosed him with a heart attack. And then they went and offered him this offer, and then he changed his mind later on and took it because he realized he wasn't going to live without this Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm going to work with this out. And I'm going to publish the book, inshallah. I want to ask the minister about it. Can I do it, let him see it, so forth. I'm not going to publish this on my own. I publish other things, I'm not going to publish this on my own. Because I know the minister wants to, and you can't redeem a dead man, but he wants to make it better.
Yeah.
You know,
Right,
the same thing, he saluted Malcolm.
Right.
Okay? So I'm looking at that, and then when I went through, I think that I can help show. And I want y'all to think about this. I ain't showing none of my stuff. Well, y'all can come another time.
Amen.
You already showed me 12
God, grace,
so
brother.
Huh? Yeah. So, what was I saying?
Malcolm X.
Yeah, before that. Well, anyway. Huh?
What you said, you think you can help?
Yeah, I think I can help him because in Revelations
Amen.
18, see, when we talk about the beast and the number of the beast, and everybody trying to find out who 666 is, we have to read it properly. Oops. Okay. Because it was not
Thirteen,
13. Okay. Let's read it. Starting at Revelations 12 and 15. It says, and he, this is talking about the dragon. He had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. But it was not the man. It was the image of the man.
Amen.
See, they did not resurrect Malcolm. They resurrected the image of Malcolm that they made in the image of Malcolm and put lies in his mouth. He met the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when he was in prison, came to his room, and he never talked on Yaqub's history in that movie. Never talked on Yaqub's history. Right. Malcolm used to love to talk on Yaqub's history. But they didn't want Yaqub's history put out worldwide because they're talking about the Jews who backed Spike Lee. Spike Lee didn't have the money. It was the Jews that had the money. So when they resurrected the image of Malcolm on the screen, I knew that they was doing that to fight Farrakhan, and that's why I came back to fight Farrakhan to help Farrakhan, because of what he did on February 21st, 1993. He brought the four wives of the messenger up and proved that Malcolm was the one who was jealous of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because Honorable Elijah Muhammad now had two of his ex-girlfriends. So he couldn't handle it. So he was broken. Now, would you handle this? How would you handle a vision of a person coming to you and then you later finding out that he was God in person? Can you handle that?
Amen.
And now you're working up underneath the man who was raised by that man. Can you handle that? Or would your mind start to wondering, why did he come to me? Has Elijah Muhammad deviated? Is it time for Elijah Muhammad to be removed and me take his place? Because he did come to me, and Elijah Muhammad said he never came to him after he left. So in his mind, or I put it like this, in my mind, I would begin to think, well, maybe he did something wrong, and he tried to give me a sign that I should take over. I don't know. But see, so Master Farad Muhammad chose Malcolm to do exactly what Malcolm did. Malcolm didn't know what it was he was supposed to do.
Right.
But he did exactly what he wanted him to do because he left something for the enemy to pick up as a weapon to expose who the real enemy is.
Amen.
The real truth of 666 and this image of the beast could not happen until the beast, the dragon, had pulled and shot his wad. Had already done the trick that he wanted to do. Remember I said they offered the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan to not teach Elijah.
Right.
They offered Malcolm,
Right.
Mike Wallace, and the Jews tricked Malcolm. They brought the movie up, but it didn't do nothing. In fact, the nation grew even bigger. We had 2 million, a Million Man March, including Sister Betty.
Amen.
Including Sister Betty.
Amen.
So, that didn't work. But they have exposed themselves. And now, they just couldn't stop.
Right.
They come with 911 to try to put the blame of the World Trade Center on 19 Muslims.
Oh, my.
Now we found out that it was Israel dealing with internal demolition bombs. The planes had nothing to do with it.
Right. That's right.
Amen.
So then people look at the minister and say, why do you keep beating up on these Jews? Why are you so, what's the word you, obsessed with the Jews? He said, because they're obsessed with us.
That's right.
And so he's exposing them as the one, the beast of Revelations, and the person who done took over the whole Gentile world. They were supposed to take the teachings that they got to teach their brethren and to civilize them.
Right.
But instead, they're keeping their Gentile brothers in the dark and use them.
Exactly. That's right.
Amen.
And use us.
That's right.
Amen.
They print their money. They took over their money in 1913.
Right.
In 1913, there was $2.8 billion. Now it's $26 trillion and counting, and the new budget is going to put another $1 trillion on it. And then we're sitting right here wondering, why just let this debt run up? Because they know one day, you and I and other brown people and the yellow people going to be the majority in this country.
Right.
Amen.
And when you become the majority in this country, everybody will call the no. I want my money. Now you never have enough money to pay your military. So you just going to have to, just like Haiti. Why is Haiti still poor? Because they're still paying the French. Why are the former French colonies in Africa still poor? Because they're still paying the French.
Right.
Amen.
So if they put us in a position that we got to pay everybody out, so when we become the majority, when we put ourselves in power, we'll have no money. Why do you think they let black mayors mayor over the big cities? Because all the money's in the suburbs. Ain't no more money in the city. Then they let you be mayor.
Right.
Come on, y'all. But now, Mr. Farrakhan is exposing them. They want the Negroes to kill Farrakhan.
Right.
Or they want the white men. Now, white men, they know about them planes. Okay? In particular, the flyboys.
Right. That's right.
The ones who fly. You imagine you flying, you think you flying the baddest thing on the plane.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
And you flying all sorts of stuff. What was that? Then next thing you know, it's on this side of you. There's on that side of you. Then it's behind you. And then all of a sudden your communications don't work no more. Your joystick don't work no more. So they going back and telling their superiors.
Right.
Man, I don't know what them things is, but we ain't got nothing.
That's right.
They can handle that.
Right.
You need to go talk to somebody. Now, y'all need to go talk to that Farrakhan. Now, that Farrakhan said in 1989 that he knew them people.
Right.
I think at least we need to talk to him. Because it's me up here in this damn tin can.
Right.
They already evaporated one over Cuba in the 1960s. It's just evaporated.
That's right.
Poof. The other guy was flying when he just saw it. Poof. No explosion, just poof. This part was gold, plane, everything. Poof. So, you know y'all can't handle that. But, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's job is to get us to submit before the planes go into action.
That's right.
Because he's looking for the seed, the seminal seed of a whole new world they're going to put on you. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the cornerstone, and you as the other base of the pyramid,
Go ahead.
on which everything else in the future is going to be built off of, and one day, in the billions, maybe trillions of years from now, the people are going to be able to look back and know exactly when the transformation begun.
Right.
That everybody would know, yes sir, everybody would know. That everybody would know that Allah came in the person
Go ahead.
of Master Farad Muhammad. So I'm going to end on that and ask you all if there's any questions. Assalamu alaikum. I got 75 slides. So it wasn't no need of me even trying to go no further. Okay? Because I got 75 slides. You only saw 2 of them. So maybe something you asked me will force me to show you some more. And maybe not. But anyway, somebody had a question. No question?
All the thing I can say, you tell me the truth.
Well, thank you, sir. Praise be to God. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know. This morning I was reading the English lesson, number C1,
Okay.
and opened up with number 1. I can't recite it right now, but you actually touched on him coming. Can you read it for me? And I get it.
All right, I'm trying to find it right now.
It's that out there. Just this is the first.
Okay. My name is W. F. Muhammad. I came to North America by myself.
Right.
My uncle
Right
was
there.
brought over there by the trader 379 years ago.
Right there.
My uncle cannot talk his own language.
Yes, but number 3, and you actually answered it, I believe, earlier in the lecture in reference to us. But is Yakub in the family? I know is he in the family somewhere?
Well, listen to what I say. Yaqub was for Saul.
Right.
He is the God of this world. Until Master Muhammad showed up.
Right.
Now, Yaqub is no longer here.
Okay.
Now, the uncle is the brother of Master Farad Muhammad's brother. Because remember, it's very specific. Father.
Right.
I came to North America by myself. He's talking about himself.
Right. That's right.
My uncle, Master Farad Muhammad.
Yes.
My uncle was brought over here.
Right.
That's us.
That's us.
Right.
So, our father is
Eh?
brother of Master Farad Muhammad's father.
Right.
Right.
So, is there a tribe?
Okay. See, this is
Is it Shabbat?
so. This is the important part for me. What we have learned from the fall of the nation, and it being done not at the hand of Malcolm, because when Mr. Farrakhan took over his position and took over New York, he went past Malcolm.
Yes.
Okay, but it was W.D.
Right.
Muhammad who destroyed our faith in the teachings.
Right.
Okay, now we have been resurrected again by Mr. Farrakhan and his love and his faith His job is to put the knowledge and wisdom in us so deep that can't nobody come behind him and mess it up. And then we would be the base of the pyramid or the seed for the new growth.
Amen.
Okay? But this lineage thing, now Shabazz is important because Shabazz took us into the jungle and made us who we are. Wide noses, thick lips, kinky hair, hard and rough and tough. Mr. Farrakhan said in D.C., he said that the white man, the white race, the devils, were made out of straight-haired black people. That's why they have straight hair. He said if they were made out of Shabazz, we would not be able to defeat them.
Wow.
So if they had made the devils out of Shabazz, they would have been too strong for us. But they were made out of straight-haired black people, and because of what we went through, we were able to withstand. Look, let me tell you what they did to us, how they used us. Don't let me forget about lineage, okay? Because that's very important. They would infect an African with smallpox and then let him escape amongst the Native Americans. Did you hear what I said?
Amen.
They would infect an African with smallpox. And then when he got to America, act like he escaped so that he can go and poison and destroy nations. We had the ability to live through the poisons. The Native Americans couldn't handle those poisons. But because of what we've been through in Africa, and you know, the malaria, and all these type, and the snakes, and all these type of insects, we have become immune. Do you know that they have found that the children of women in Africa, the women have HIV, and the children are immune to HIV. Now, that's impossible. Usually it takes generations to develop an immunity. Okay? But no, it don't take but one time. Okay, I'm sick. I'm going to produce a baby, and the baby will come out not sick. You can't get the baby with that no more.
Wow.
Okay? We, at one time, I used to wonder how come in Somalia, when they had all these famines, that they had pictures of little graves. Well, little graves were babies. Well, how can a woman have a baby if she ain't 8 to 7 years? Then we find out that the devil know now that a pure black person can actually eat sunlight and turn the sunlight into chemical energy. When they say we're the sun people, that's for real.
Amen.
We can actually eat the sun, turn the sun into chemical energy to keep us going until we're able to get some food.
Go ahead, make it
Now, it ain't gonna happen to most of us fat people in America no more, because we like the white man, depending on the white man, 3 meals, 3 hots, we can't make it, okay? But anyway. But, lineage. It was the bloodline of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that destroyed the nation of Islam. Farrakhan is not in his bloodline.
Right.
When they brought us over here, they destroyed our bloodline. They mixed us all up. Nobody knows where they came from. Can't nobody walk around here right now and say, my name is Kente Kunte, the great son of King, what's that brother in Mali who took everything, had all that money, gold? Mansa Musa. Can anybody roll up here and talk about Mansa Musa was my great granddaddy, and therefore I should be the leader.
Yeah.
Oh, nigga, shut up. So they destroyed that civilization. Now, I love Kemet, but later on Kemet fell into idolatry. Not only idolatry, they got so sick with power, trying to control the power at the top, that Nefertiti and Akhenaten were brother and sister.
Mm. Oh, wow.
And that happened a lot in the later generation, and we began to worship the netters as gods instead of as principles of God to study so we can control nature. Not so that we can worship them, but they were the principles. And the young brother had a stick, he was a staff, and I told him I was going to talk on that. Where is he at? There he is. Come on, give me that staff. Hold that staff up. Now, the scepter or the staff is used as a symbol of power, right? And Moses, he had a staff, right? But in ancient Kemet, the hieroglyph, the determinative, the picture that represented the word of God, Medu Neter, was a stick. Medu is word. The power is in the word. Why did they use a stick to represent the word? The way they now test to see if animals have ability to make tools. They even found that crows can do it.
Amen.
That is, they would get a stick
Right, that's right.
and cut it at the right length for them to use it to come and pluck a berry off a tree they can't get to with their beak. They did it by putting it in a cage, had them food in there, they couldn't get to it, and had stuff around, and they found just the right one that could go in there and trip that latch so they can get their food. So the stick is the first tool. Because if the first was a word, I need to do something. And so then you look around for a way to get it. We do something like this now. I need that chair to move.
Oh my God.
See, all you have to do is go here. You move the chair. That's what we made all this for.
I'm going to jail.
That's what we made all this for. But now you're trying to figure out, it's I call it functional thinking. First you got to have a desire. Okay. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. A desire to do something, and then to figure out a way to get it done. And leverage is everything. You can move a huge stone with a big stick if you get the right leverage point. Okay? So that's why they made, and guess what? You will not find no other than Afrocentric Negroes who think they know chemistry can tell you why Medu is a stick. All right? Because they don't know squat. They fall behind this white boy called Budge and the rest of them, they trying to say, they don't know. Okay? But when they broke up our lineage, we used to have different guilds. The carpenter guild, the iron guild. Okay? Now we don't have nothing. And then they broke up our family relationships. So we got to reestablish it based on the spirit. We can't go according to your name, your heritage, or whatever. Because nobody can prove none of that. Plus you're all mixed up. We're all mixed up anyhow.
Yes, sir. Yes, we are.
So now we got to start from scratch. So if you want to start a new world, you want to start from scratch. You don't want nothing from the old world. Remember that we said they kept the science from them so they would not build their world based on our science. We hid our science from them. So now we're going to build a world completely different from theirs, and you got to start off from scratch. So we've been scratched out. We've been lost. We've been made crazy as hell. Okay? We done lost our minds. We don't even, we are so atomized, we are so disintegrated that we don't even want to marry no more. Some of us, I saw somebody on TV yesterday, young brother and sister with the TV program, what's his name? Anyway, Steve Harvey show, in the morning. And the young people just came out of college and they said they want to have 6 children. I said, the white folks must be, they must be what? We sent them to college so they wouldn't want to have no damn babies. And they come out of college, got rid of their $100,000 and $200,000 in debt that they had coming out of college. Got rid of it in 1 year. Now, each one working 3 jobs. And then they want to have 6 children. You and our white folks think about that?
Right.
So, but there's some of us, because of the strains of this world and the confusion that they put into us by being around them, white folks ask, black folks ask me a question like this: how's life treating you? So they get them white folks. How's life treating you? Well, I got some of it. Treating you pretty good. No, the proper question would be how you treat me. Life is treating me good, but you give me hell. And I'm going to smack you next time you do that. See, that's why you should answer that question.
Right.
But again, they put their mind in us to where we don't like it here the way they don't like it here.
Right.
They don't like God because God made them weak and wicked. When they see, you know Maxine Waters, you know how old Maxine Waters is? Huh? 85. 85, 86 now, right? Maxine Waters. And that is her hair, ain't a wig. I thought it was a wig.
Come on.
No, that's her hair. She said, and I pay good money every week to get this hair like this. And the Trump come on my hair. And, I mean, 85 years old, 86 years old, come on now. Now, what do you think white folks see when they see that? Now, I saw a white woman yesterday coming up here at the gas station, man. I mean, damn, she was ugly. I mean, she had them wrinkles, man. I mean, and guess what? They see what we see. Why? Because they be trying to get rid of the wrinkles, right?
Right.
They be trying to get rid of that pale skin, right? Because they go out to the what? The sun. So they know they're ugly as hell. And their body fall apart early. And they look at us, and all it takes is one drug. What's that boy's name that plays basketball out there? Anyway, I think his name is Love. I don't know. Anyway.
Love and basketball?
Yeah. Anyway, he's a half-breed.
Zach Levine.
Huh?
Zach Levine.
No, not him. It's another. Yes, it's Sacramento.
Curry? No, that's good.
No. Anyway, but the boy can jump out of the damn building. Right? And he's a half-breed.
Gently.
Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin.
Detroit Pistons.
He changed over now, right?
Yeah.
But he was in California somewhere, right?
Right.
The Clippers, right, the Clippers. That boy can jump,
Yeah.
but he's a half-breed.
Yeah.
So that boy up in Seattle. The other duo, not, anyway, another half-breed. So it don't take but a drop. That's why they say you get a drop, a black in you black.
Right.
Because you transform the whole mix.
Right.
So, we don't care about you, whether you, half black, half white, whatever, we say you black. We put some music on, and as long as you dance to it, as long as you keep a beat, you know what I mean? You got some black in you. Because white folks can't keep no beat.
No.
And the reason they can't keep no beat is that they don't want to submit nothing but their own mind. And so when they hear a beat, they can't submit to it until they understand what they're supposed to do with it. But we know what you're supposed to do with it. You're supposed to move to it. But a white person, he is so arrogant, self-centered, he can't do that. He can't let loose, because if he let loose and begin to move with the nature and the truth, he may wind up and let us loose. That's why these Jews got to be around them and always tell them, look, when they let us out of slavery, they had to go tell them white boy, you can't leave them niggas out there in the woods by themselves. In 45 years, we bought 16 million acres of land. So slavery did not crush us. Integration crushed us.
That's right.
Belief in being close to massa crushed us.
Right.
We've been crushed over the last 50 years when we went for integration instead of separation. When we're in our own segregated communities, we could have united those segregated communities into a nation in the 1960s.
Right. That's right. That's right.
But we failed for integration and lost everything, including our mind.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions?
Well, I actually don't have a question to make a statement, because I've been trying for the last few months to figure out why all of a sudden all your commercials about integration couples, and you just answered the question. I've been studying this. It's not a commercial that comes on TV now. That it's not an interracial couple. And I knew it was a reason, but I was trying to figure out how they were getting into our mind.
That's the last trick. That's the last trick is for you to take their women and for the men to take our women and think we can live happily ever after and ain't nothing but on TV.
Right.
Because it don't work.
Right.
Now, the brother who got down on his knees, the football player, what's his name? Kaepernick. Let me tell you why they got so upset about Kaepernick. Kaepernick is a half-breed. He's a half-breed who was raised by a white family.
Oh, wow.
He wasn't raised by a black family. He was given up for adoption. He was raised, a half-breed, raised by a white family, and he chose his black self over his white self. That's why they mad.
Wow.
He went all the way. Afro, dreads, went over there to Africa, got an African name now. You know, it's part of another name for himself over there, set up a school over there. So he came out, he decided that he was going to take his black side instead of his white side. That scares the hell out of them because they're trying to mix with us. You know, they want to mix. I said, well, then let's go ahead. Somebody got to, take one for the team. So because what they're coming out with, the baby gonna be black.
Right.
We can get to that baby. Okay? Now, I mean, I smelled white women when I was in a hotel, in an elevator, and the Duke University gym team was in the elevator with me. I don't know what no black man want with that. I don't know what no black man want with that. I'm sorry, brother. Take one for the team, brother. I don't want none of that. So, and the Chinese taking over America.
Right.
But remember what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. He said that we would come back into power in the opposite direction in which the white man was made. So you had the black, the brown, the yellow, the white. Now the yellow is taking over from the white. So I know we are upset about them taking over Africa and taking over land here and buildings and everything, but it's okay. It's all in the Lord's plan. Because, I hope I ain't putting nothing out so the cracker can figure some stuff out, but when they left, the colonies left Africa, remember Milton said last week, we're going to 8 states and don't try to take a damn thing out?
Right.
When the French left, they took their stuff with them and blew up the roads behind them and blew up the buildings.
Right.
Okay? Now, the white man would do the same thing except he is retard, and the Chinese got the money, eh? And so the Chinese is buying everything that the white man has got, and the white man is taking the money and run and is happy, but guess what? Now, instead of them blowing it up, the Chinese got it, and we may be able to talk something sensitive with the Chinese in the future.
Right.
At least they won't destroy the country because the Chinese is buying it. And so the Mr. Farrakhan, there's another chance to give us some more time to get ourselves together so that we can rule. So I could not have predicted what I see, but I love what I see. Allah is working a game on the enemy. The worst thing you can do to a con man is what? Con him. And when he get conned, he's so embarrassed that he go off in the closet and blow his whole damn head off. You ain't got to do nothing to him. Once you messed him up, and here you got this man who admits in the Talmud and other places that he has fooled God. He has taken the word of God, changed it, and the people think that it's still the word of God. They think they don't fool God. So they think that we can't fool them. But guess what? They're being conned by the Farrakhan. Oh, thank you. What's this that had the plane? What? Land. Oh, land the plane. Look at this. They're like an H. Okay. Thank you very much. And now it's time for us to get acceptances and stuff like that, right? Thank you very very much, man. Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, sir.
How many of y'all are in here who have not accepted the Nation of Islam yet? Have not accepted Islam? How many of y'all believe what you're saying is true? I want to see that. Oh, none of y'all believe y'all saying it's true? All right.
Oh, I do.
Okay, you do. Okay. How many of you who have not joined the Nation of Islam believe what you heard was true? Okay. Would you like to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan?
I already do.
Okay, praise be to Allah. You other brothers, y'all keep coming back until y'all find out yourself and feel you have the strength to come in here. Because it is tough coming up in here
Yes, sir.
as a black man. It is. Yes, sir.
Me, myself, personally, I was invited by Brother Harris. I've dealt with the nation before about 20 years ago. I'll be 36 this year. So when I was young, still in ignorance, I fell out. I came into a better way of thinking now. And as I was speaking with the brother, I'm trying to figure out how to, as you were speaking on, bring all of us together as a people, right? Not just the Nation of Islam, but all black people, because we are all under the same oppression. And we are all suffered from the same hands of white supremacy racism. So my goal on my journey is try to figure out how to be a better organizer and a better mobilizer for all of us. I mean, I believe I understand in all of it, but I believe what my place is I'm trying to bring us all into unity. So that way we can have the land, that way we can have our own food and our own water and our own doctors, lawyers, and all of these things for our next generation. That's why I bring my sons, so that they can see positive black role models, right? Because like where we live at in Ray Warren, or next door to Ray Warren, we don't see those things, right? And we got churches on the corner that's doing nothing for this neighborhood. So I'm trying to figure out how to make us all responsible for that.
Well, thank you very much, brother, and may Allah bless you. But you know, I was trying to do the same thing down here in Greensboro.
Right.
But when the police rolled up on me, the police, college police, broke into my house, I'm going to get my bow tie.
Right.
You know, the one thing about, if you want to be a revolutionary, you got to live to be a revolutionary, and you got to look at the best alternative that you have to do what you want to do. And sometimes you got to sit down and you got to think about it, you got to do the mathematics. You know, I did the mathematics, and the best thing I can do is help Minister Farrakhan. That's what I decided, because everybody got to decide on their own.
Right.
I asked a question on my Facebook page, and my Facebook is originally with me. I asked a question. I said, how can we unite going our separate ways? How can we unite going our separate ways? And if you don't have the power to get them to follow you, then you need to follow the one who has the power to get them to follow him. Because you cannot unite going your separate way. Because everybody in here got a little bit of God in them, and they think they have just as right to be the leader as you do. So you don't have to, everybody, you just have to lower your wings a little bit and say, okay, fine. See, that's what the beauty of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Minister Farrakhan said he wanted a Messiah, somebody to save his people. He first thought it was Marcus Garvey. But when he saw the picture, the brother said to me, he's dead. He said, well, you know, wow, it hurt his feelings. But he was ready to follow him. Then Elijah Muhammad. And he said, well, I'm going to follow him. He wanted to be the Messiah, but look who he is now. But he gave his life to that man. And that's the secret of those three.
Right.
The secret of those three is that they gave their life to each other. And the first one who set the things up, he could have taken the position of the eternal leader, but he gave it to his brother, the one he resurrected, he gave it to him.
Right.
See, that's love. And Mr. Farrakhan, he got on our case last week when people tried to say he was a God and tried to say he was Jesus. He got on the people's case. He said, don't you put me out there and leave the messenger behind.
That's right.
I cannot be who I am if it was not for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So don't do that. You put me in a very precarious position. Don't cut me off like that. And that's one thing about it in the Bible. I said about being the faithful, the truth. He has not gone anywhere without the Honorable Elijah.
That's right.
He don't have to say what he does now about the messenger. He's up there on his own. But he know he ain't up there on his own. And him attributing his power to the messenger keeps his head straight.
That's right.
So he won't get it crooked
Right.
and think more of himself than he should at the time. And therefore start thinking as a fool
Right. That's right.
instead of relying on those who are backing him up. And he tells the people the source of his knowledge and his power. Therefore, he's protected from the idiocy of the Negro.
That's right.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And if you want to join with us, what's the secretary? Who has the check with them when you leave out, sign your name up, start coming out to the classes so you can be trained into becoming an FOI so you learn how to take heat. Your brother, you gotta learn how to take heat, you're doing a lot of people, brother.
So most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah, microwave you in a minute.
Yes, sir.
All right, praise you. Thank you very much, man. Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Let's give him another round of applause. And brother, this is your first time out?
Yes.
Yeah, and as Dr. Reggie was saying, if you would like to be a part of the Nation of Islam, we do have something for you. So if not, just continue to come back. And we welcome you back at any moment in time. And Doc, you know, it's very funny how the minister last Sunday laughed how the research team had developed all this stuff for him to speak on, but a lot of guys to him in a different way, and he laughed at his research team, and he said they used to it by now. So it's very funny that one of the members of the research team had all their research. I guess he followed the leader, so that's good. But we want to thank everyone for coming out, and we thank you for being here to hear our brother Dr. Ridgely give this powerful lecture. And we thank you, and we're going to go into the next phase of our meeting where we take up charity. So today's charity, we bring it up one time. So as the brother and sister come, we give to 5 different charities. As the brothers and sisters, as they're coming, we give to 5 different charities. One is to the number 2 poor charity, which goes directly to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So we are always trying to contribute to him, which goes back to us. And we also have our national obligatory, which goes to our national, those confined to the work of Islam that do this work on a day-to-day basis for us. We also take up charity for our local, so we can make sure that we have a facility and a place to give this life-giving teachings. Also, we did talk about independent education. So we also raising charity for Muhammad University of Islam, so we can make sure that our children have independent education. And lastly, the 3-year economic plan, which goes to help us secure land, farmland, as we do have in Georgia, and as we're going to be purchasing more land. We want to make sure that we are building our nation. So those are the charities that we're asking for. And for those that were not able to give in a financial way, we thank you, because the greatest charity that you have given is your presence and your ability to hear and listen and get this word so that you can get it and you can share it with someone else. So we thank you for your time. Also, brothers, tomorrow we have our Mighty FOI class. Our Monday night class is usually at 7:30 p.m. I think tomorrow we have the modified class. We may be going out at 6 p.m. So FOI will be here at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. And that Mighty class for the women of God is every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And we're also here on Wednesday and Friday night, and lately we have been watching the time and what must be done. So we're on Part 15 this coming Wednesday, and our past Wednesday we had our local believers meeting.
And of course on Friday, our self-improvement class, and both of those Wednesday and Friday are at 7:30 p.m. So we want to make sure that we're back for that. Also, FOI, we have a regional FOI meeting in Raleigh, North Carolina. Please see our student captain. That's going to start at 9 a.m. on next Saturday. So FOI, please see our student captain to get more information on that. And also August 31st. August 31st will be the memorial for our brother Abdul Rahman Muhammad down in Atlanta. I think that will be probably around 8 o'clock, but the program will be released soon. But on August 31st, we'll be in Atlanta for our brother Abdul Rahman Muhammad memorial after the 40 days from his janazah. Also, the latest edition of the Final Call newspaper is in the city, and we also have Muhammad's Kitchen, yes. And we also have Muhammad's Kitchen, cooking food. I know there's fish in there, I know there's baked chicken in there, I know some vegetables in there, so we want to make sure that we eat here instead of eating out somewhere else. And I think, yes sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Sir.
We have outside some products from the Stable Goods project, some extra products. The reason I came up on short notice was that somehow we messed up Greensboro order. We messed up Greensboro order worse than anybody's order. You had half the stuff you didn't want, half the stuff you didn't get half the stuff that you needed. So anyway, we don't know what happened. We think something happened, something lined up right, everything got moved over to the orders. Anyhow, so we brought them up, and so we got some extra outside. So your orders, if you did order, your stuff is in the back. If you want to buy some more stuff, it's out front. Now that Stable Goods project, let me explain to you why we did that. We did that because the minister has been warning us that America is going to fall financially, and the food was not going to be there, and the water. So you need to take care of yourself, and that's why we set it up. And also to move the flour, because we have a flour mill, but we couldn't get the flour sent all over the country. But now by putting the other products around the flour, we're able to send the flour and the other products all across the country, from sea to shining sea, from here to Seattle, to Boston, to California, to Miami. And everybody pay the same price.
Exactly.
And our prices are competitive even with the stores, even Walmart. Our Navy beans is cheaper than Walmart. And our stuff is fresher and it's better. Right. So that's what we got outside for you. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Wait a minute.
You have a question?
Yes, I do.
Yes, sir.
What constitutes the stable goods? How many different? What are stable
okay.
goods that you offer?
All right. We got whole wheat flour, pastry flour, cream of whole wheat, and muffin mix. Those 4 products come from Muhammad Farms. We surrounded it with navy beans, red beans, brown lentils, red lentils, brown sugar, rice, honey, salt, seasonings, maybe freeze-dried navy bean soup, applesauce. You see the name? Well, those are those.
Thank you.
Those are the products.
Which ones came from the farm?
Huh?
The first 4?
Yeah, the first 4
Okay.
come from the farm. Okay, and another part of my lecture I didn't get to is that the other thing that I found out that I would never have found out if I hadn't been down there for 24 years trying to farm is that the money is not made in production agriculture, producing the raw product. The money is made in the processing of that product. In a loaf of bread, you may pay $3 to $4 for a loaf of bread. The farmer, the wheat farmer, gets 8 cents.
Right.
0.08. 8 cents out of $3 is what he gets. So we tell young people, if you'll go into farming, don't grow peach trees. Grow peach pies.
Right.
Buy peaches from wherever you can get them from now. Develop you the best pie in the country. 7 years, when your trees are ready to start producing, then you start taking the peaches from your trees
Go ahead.
and put them in your pie.
Yes, sir.
In the meantime, you've been making money all along, and now you're going to make $8, $9, $10, $12 out of a pie instead of $2 or $3 out of some peaches.
Yes, sir.
So we tell them, if one of y'all is going to go to school to learn production, then the mate should go to school to learn how to culinary school, learn how to cook or how to process. So we're pushing that. And I would not have found that out until 2014. In 2014, we produced peanuts the way you're supposed to produce peanuts according to the book. We wouldn't do it before because we wasn't trying to use no chemicals. But, you know, the insurance company got tired of paying us for that. We made a lot of money off of that situation. Anyhow, so we had to go by the book. And we went by the book, put all the chemicals on, all the fertilizer on, made 3 times the peanuts that we was making before, and lost money. And that's why I figured, uh-oh. So the reason you are eating right now is because you are paying twice for your food. Once when you go to the grocery store, restaurant, whatever, and the other, the farmers are paid out of your tax money. To keep the prices, the raw products cheap, your tax money goes to the white farmers so they can produce a cheap product, but it don't go to the black farmers so they can't compete because they don't have that subsidy to handle the low price that they're receiving for the product, so they go out of business. So your money goes to white farmers so they can continue to produce cheap products to wipe out the black farmers here. And also, one other thing they do with the cheap product, they did the cheap product, and they take it to Africa, and they set it on the outside of Africa on a boat until the farmers in Africa to that country start harvesting their product. When they start harvesting and bring it to the market, they bring the boat in and give the food away. That's how they destroy the agricultural economic base in Africa. Okay? With your tax money used as a weapon against the economies in Africa. All right? So help us, help yourself, because it's been a war against you. It ain't just been the military. They've been doing that with your tax money by destroying agriculture amongst black folks in America and agriculture amongst black folks in Africa. That's all.
All right. Once again, we want to thank Dr. Richard for that powerful lecture, and we thank you for your patience and your time for being here. And for those that did have staple good products that came in, please see our student captain, Brother George. He has the list and receipts for you to get your staple goods in the back. And also, I don't want to forget, Saviours Day